The session here. Right now what we'll do is we'll see the what will be called agenda of the session is what is .NET, okay, why to learn .NET, okay, what are the features of .NET, and we have a concept called as a framework, okay, and followed by architecture of the .NET, and this is the agenda of the current session, right? See here, when you're talking about a .NET, see here, like Java, everybody feels that .NET is a programming language, okay, so we would like to confirm that .NET is not a programming language, okay, if you're able to see this, .NET is not a programming language like Java or PHP. Okay, so generally we will be calling this a .NET is a framework. .NET is a framework. So what do you mean by framework? Framework is nothing but a software engine. Okay, what we can say that which helps you in developing the applications, running the applications, and debugging the applications. Okay, so here when you're able to see any application in the internet, followed by www.domainname.com/something called as ASPX. Okay, if you're able to see anything like an ASPX, that is an application developed using the .NET. Okay, so .NET is a framework which helps in developing the applications. Okay, using a .NET, what we can do is we can develop Windows applications, web applications, console applications, services, or anything. So here, as a client required, whatever a client required, whether it can be a mobile application, Windows application, web application, anything can be easily communicated to the .NET. A simple example, I'll tell you that there is a website called as a hdfc.com. Okay, there is a website called as a accessbank.com. Okay, so there is a website called as a Reliance Services, etc. All these applications are developed using the .NET. Okay, with the help of a .NET, what we can do is we can create an application, and that application can be communicated to anyone in any manner. That is the main thing related to the .NET. Okay, so best example, banking sites like Axis Bank, okay, HDFC Bank, ICICI Pru Life, etc. Everything is completely dependent upon the .NET only. Okay, so .NET is used to develop a software application, and I would like to confirm once again, .NET is not like it's not a programming language. It is called as a framework. Okay, hope you understand. See, generally, what do you mean by a framework? See, when you talk about a framework, framework is called as a software infrastructure. Framework is a software infrastructure. What do you mean by software infrastructure? See, the initial requirement to develop any application, okay, you need to have something called as a infrastructure. A small example I'll tell you. When you go for any company, any business, okay, the company will grow based on its infrastructure only. For example, when you go for any school or a college or an office, you will be having an infrastructure. Like infrastructure in the sense, we'll be having the complete what will be called facilities to continue our work. Example, when you go for any practical things, you need to have a laboratory. So a laboratory is nothing but an infrastructure. Okay, if you have a laboratory, you can do any manipulation like your practicals and all. The same thing, to work with any .NET application, we'll be having something called as a framework. So a framework is called as an infrastructure. Infrastructure which contains the initial requirement to develop an application or to execute an application. Okay. So here for every programming language you will be having the infrastructure. Okay. Like for every language you will be having a framework. Example, we have a PHP framework, we have a Windows framework, we have a .NET framework, we have Java framework. Okay. So frameworks are nothing but infrastructures. You can even call it as a framework. While talking to a car, a framework is nothing but a car engine with a body. Okay, framework is nothing but a car engine with a body. You can understand that entire thing which is minimum requirement for a car is ready. That is called as a framework. Okay, with the help of a .NET, what we can do is we can easily develop an application. Okay, an application in .NET development can be happen in a matter of minutes, not even hours. Okay, depends upon your requirement, depends upon your levels only, it will take some time. But application development in .NET is very, very easy. See, while comparing to other languages in the market, like we have a Java, we have what will be called PHP, we have a Go, we have other languages like VC++, etc. Okay, we have hundreds of programming languages in the market. Currently, one and only the best and easiest way to develop a software application is .NET. Okay, .NET is very, very easy for developing the .NET software applications. Okay, why .NET is famous in the sense because of a small thing called as a framework. Okay, so you can understand that, see, whatever we are discussing, everything will be provided in the form of a handout. Okay, So what is a framework generally? A framework is a software infrastructure, which I clearly mentioned over here. Okay, it is used to develop or to run or to debug an application. Okay, anyway, see, a framework will help you on creating the foundation of an application, which helps you not to do it from the scratch. For everything, whatever you want to have initial requirement is ready. That is what exactly called as a framework, right? So here, like every programming language, we have a framework in the .NET called as a .NET framework. So what do you mean by .NET framework is, it's a framework which all the facilities which are easily targeted to the .NET technologies. A framework is a software infrastructure, whereas .NET framework is a software infrastructure which targets to the .NET technology. Okay, let's understand in detail. For example, here as a client, think that you want to construct a building. Okay, as a client you want to construct a building. Okay, so here as an architect, think that you approach me. I'm giving you two options. Okay, like option one, what I'm telling you is you can, okay, we can build, okay, from the scratch. When you're talking about from the scratch, I'm giving some conditions to you. What are the conditions? First one, time will be more. Okay, we need more time. Okay, and next one, we need more money. Okay, we need more manpower. So the reason is why? Because you want to develop from the scratch. This is the first option. Think that I'm giving a second option to you. Okay, I'm telling that second option. Okay, I'll give you ready-made, okay, foundation with first floor. Okay, and I'm telling that you can implement from second floor onwards. Able to understand? We can implement from second floor onwards. So what do you mean by this? See here, when you have a requirement, I'm giving you two options. One is you have to build it from the scratch, and second one is where we have a foundation with a first floor is ready. Okay, generally which will be preferred? Okay, obviously everybody will look after the second one only. Why? Because second one in the sense foundation is ready, first floor is ready, and you can simply continue working with the second floor. Okay, so this is the option which will be available in the development related to the .NET. So if you select a .NET, okay, if you select a .NET is like your second option, where whatever you want to have, a related foundation is ready, a related implementation on first floor is ready, you can just continue working with the second floor. That is what exactly a .NET can do is, right? So because of this reason, we can tell that .NET is very, very easy. Okay, working with .NET is easy, and you can develop the applications easily. Okay, guys, in the meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can chat with me, right? Hope you are understanding, guys. Okay, so here, .NET is famous because of only one reason called as a .NET framework. Okay, so .NET framework is a framework which allows you to create, run, debug the applications which targeted to the .NET technologies. Okay, what I can do is I can develop an application, I can debug an application, I can run an application. And one thing you need to remember, like a frameworks, generally frameworks are free. Okay, frameworks are free. Even .NET framework is free, can be downloaded directly from the Microsoft website. Okay, you may ask a question, how a .NET is very easy to develop an application. See here, .NET is very easy, okay, to develop applications. Okay, because of two reasons. Okay, because of two features. Okay, the first feature is you have something called as a .NET framework. So .NET framework is the first feature, and second one is .NET software called as a Visual Studio. Understand? Because of these two features, okay, because of these two features, .NET development application is very, very easy. Like I'll tell you, see, your .NET framework is for developing application. Okay, Visual Studio is for designing the application or implementing the code. Okay, so these two are you can download in the what will be called Microsoft.com website directly. For example, I'll tell you. Okay, open Google. Okay, and you can type Visual Studio. Okay, Visual Studio 2012 Express Edition for Windows, or you can say desktop. Okay, so you can develop this one, you can download this application, and this application will work for 90 days free of cost. Okay, and for the database you can download like the SQL Server 2012 Express Edition. Understand? These softwares are available for free of cost. Okay, so here Express Edition Okay, Express Edition softwares are free to download. Okay, for 90 days. Okay, after 90 days, it will start asking you to provide the key. Till 90 days, you need not to have any key. Okay, after that, if you want, you can download again and you can install. Okay, see here. The entire features related to the .NET is success because of two features. One is .NET Framework, another one is Visual Studio. Okay, once you install a Visual Studio, automatically Framework gets installed in your machine. In the same way, if you don't want to have a Visual Studio, even though you can download the framework. Hope you are understanding, right? See here, the first thing is what is .NET we have seen. Okay, what is framework we have seen, and what is .NET Framework. Okay, and next one, coming to the .NET. See here, what we can develop with the help of the .NET. Okay, see .NET, with the help of the .NET, we can develop any sort of requirement, not like this one or that one. In the market, what a client is expecting, everything can be developed using the .NET. Best example, I'll tell you that we can easily develop a console application. See, generally console applications are nothing but instruction based. If you want to have any instruction based application development, that is easily possible with the help of the console application. Best example for the console application is simply, you can simply go for the CMD. You can simply type ipconfig. So you can say that it's a console application. Okay, so you can even say ping. Okay, www.gmail.com. Okay, even this is something called as a console application. Any console applications can be easily developed using the .NET. Okay, right. Next, coming to the second category. First category, I said you that console applications. Second category is Windows application. What do you mean by Windows application? Like you can call it as a calculator. You can calculate as a notepad, wordpad, MS Word, anything. So your Windows applications are used to develop the Windows UI screens. Okay, so here even you are working with a GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is a Windows application. Even such sort of applications also can be created easily. And the third one, which is very, very important, most of the people are using without knowing the definition, called as a Windows services. I'll tell you a small example. When you open the notification, you could be able to see most of the programs are running. Okay, any programming which is running behind the screens called as Windows services. Okay, any program, like you can see the Windows update, Windows sounds. Okay, you can see the network status, you can see the battery, etc. All these are called as a Windows services. You can even see the Windows services by simply clicking on your start run. Simply type services.msc and hit enter. Okay, you could be able to see the list of the Windows services which are running in your operating system parallelly. See here, you can even see the Windows updates. You can even see the pager. You can even see installer devices. Okay, Oracle service clients, DNS clients, families, fax machines. Okay, Windows status, everything. So you can understand that all these are the programs which are running parallelly in your computer. Okay, so if you want to develop these sort of applications, that can be easily developed using the .NET. Best example, firewall, it's a background process. Antivirus, it's a background process. Event drop, it's a background process. Windows search is a background process. Windows time, Windows update. See, all these are the applications which are going to be running parallelly in your computer. So can we develop these sort of applications? Absolutely possible with the help of the .NET application called as a Windows services. Okay, Windows services, use it to develop an application which runs in your background. Right? Next one. See here, what else we can do? See here, you know that these days we cannot imagine a situation like without web. In the same way, if you want to develop any web application, that can be developed using the web application using Windows, using .NET. So .NET helps to create the web applications easily. Okay, where we can run the application in the internet. Understand? Like example for the web application is facebook.com, yahoomail.com, okay, gmail.com, etc. An application hosted in the internet, and it can be accessible all over the world. ICICIbank.com, accessbank.com, relianceindustries.com, anything. Even our websites you can operate and all. Okay. So what else we can do? We can even create something called as a websites. Okay, even you can create a website. Okay, so here a site, website, use it to develop websites, web application, etc. Okay, and even you can create easily a mobile application. Okay, so you know, you heard about a mobile Windows 7 mobile and all. Okay, an operating system, or you can say a device which is working with the in the mobile called as a Windows application. Okay, so even mobile applications can be created using the .NET. Okay, like we have a standard only patterns. Okay, if you want to develop design patterns, okay, design patterns to develop what will be called both web and mobile applications. So we'll be calling it something called MVC, models, views, controls. Even these patterns applications can be created. There is something called as a web services. Services in the sense an application which will be used in the service-oriented architecture. Okay, these sort of applications can be easily created with the help of the .NET. These are some of the things which we are currently using in our projects and all. Apart from this, we'll be having different templates are there. I'll show you a small example here. When you open your Visual Studio, okay, you could be able to see an option to create an application. Okay, once you try to create an application, you could be able to see hundreds of different types of applications can be created. Okay, you can create any application. Simply see here, what I'm trying to do is I just opened the Visual Studio. I'm just clicking on the new project. Okay, when you click on the new project, you could be able to see what are all the features which are available in the .NET to be created. Okay, so I shown you only few applications here. I shown you only few applications here. You could be able to see around 10 types of applications. Here you could be able to see around 10 types. Okay, here you could be able to see around some types. See here, different applications can be easily developed in the .NET. Reporting tools are there, SharePoints are there, Silverlights are there. Okay, like cloud is there, web is there, Windows is there, anything. So we can understand that a client's approach to you, you can 100% satisfy him by developing an application using the .NET. Here, next. Okay, so what type of applications are developed using the .NET we have seen. And next one, most of the people will ask you a question that, okay, Java is a platform independent. Okay, is a Java is good or .NET is good? So we cannot compare anything. Why? Because Java scenario is different and .NET scenario is different. Okay, and currently .NET is more powerful than the Java. Okay, like how I'll tell you. See, your first example, when anybody asks, is a .NET platform independent? See, even indirectly I'm teaching you the interview questions to crack the interviews. Okay, is a .NET is a platform independent or not? See here, .NET generally called as a partially independent. What do you mean by partially independent? See here, .NET don't want any independence. Why? Because .NET is a product from the Microsoft. Microsoft is having its own operating systems, and the main reason for the .NET is they want to run the application only in the Microsoft Windows. Okay, in that view only .NET has been introduced. Okay, .NET main intention to run only in the Windows operating systems. But what happened, you know, these days .NET is available for every operating system. Like Unix, we can use the .NET. Linux, we can use the .NET. Okay, any mobile operating system like iOS, we can use the .NET. Okay, right now .NET can be operated by most of the operating systems available in the market. But some of the operating system may not be supported. That's the reason we will be calling it a partially independent. Okay, if an interview question arises, is a .NET platform independent? It's a partially platform independent. Am I clear? And next one, what sort of applications can be created using the .NET? Okay, generally an application, while talking to the any place, applications are available in the software are two types mainly, called as system software and application software. These are the two different softwares are available in the market. See, system software in the sense a software is used to communicate with the devices. Understand? A software which is used to communicate with the devices. Like example, I can call it as a device driver. Okay, I can call it as a operating system. I can call it as a translator, etc. See, all these are called as a system software. Whereas application software in the sense, it's nothing but as a packages. Okay, you can call it as a application software. Okay, like I can say bank application. Okay, like you can say domain specification, etc. All these things are there. And .NET is used to create the application software. If anybody asks a question that can't we create a system software, we can create. But .NET main aim is not to create a system software. .NET is specially designed to design the application software. Using the .NET, what we can do is we can develop an application software. We cannot develop a system software. Okay, why? Because it is specially designed to develop application softwares. Okay, see the same question I given you over here. Okay, .NET is used to develop what sort of applications? It is used to develop application programs, not for the system programs. Okay, using .NET we cannot develop the low-level programs like OS editors. Okay, like we can call it as translators, etc. Able to understand? Hope you understand, right? So coming to the next one. Okay, so what are the features? If anybody asks you a question that there are many languages available in the market, why we need to go to the .NET, or why clients are requesting us to develop the .NET application? Because of its features. Okay, so at .NET, here an interview question here. If a client asks you like why we need to go for .NET, why don't we go for the Java, or why don't we go for any other technology? Okay, so we can go to the .NET because of its unique features which are not available in the Java, or which are not available in any other language. See, first one, it is called as a CLS. What do you mean by CLS? Common Language Specification. So what do you mean by Common Language Specification? Let me explain in detail. See, CLS stands for Common Language Specification. What do you mean by this? See here, any programming language, if you work with any technology, okay, any technology, okay, what it do is, it insists to learn or to use only one or specified programming. This is the rule for any programming language. For any programming language, there is a rule that they will ask you to write the application in a particular language. Okay, while coming to the .NET, okay, in .NET, okay, there is no rule, okay, to follow. Okay, as a programmer, okay, you can use any programming language, okay, which you are familiar. Understand? In .NET, there is no rule to follow. They are telling that as a programmer, you can use any language. Okay, see here, .NET supports more than 40 successful languages. .NET supports more than 40 successful languages, okay, to develop applications. Okay, example, you can say that we have something called, the people who are familiar with the C++, we have something called as C#.NET. The people who are familiar with VC++, we have VC++.NET. Okay, the people who are familiar with the VB, okay, they can go for developing the VB.NET. Okay, if anybody is familiar with PHP, they can develop an application using the PHP.NET. If you are familiar with COBOL, we have COBOL.NET. We have a Pascal.NET. Anything. Okay, so whatever you are familiar, if you install that component and you can directly develop an application which is related to it. Am I clear? So there is no rule. The first thing is there is no rule to develop. Okay, so generally anybody is asking that when you go for a Java, they are asking, please learn the Java, please learn the Java coding. PHP, please learn the PHP, please learn the COBOL. Like if you know a particular language and you can target to that technology. In .NET there is no rule that one. The reason is .NET supports more than different languages. Understand? So the first feature related to the .NET is CLS, Common Language Specification. Okay, multiple languages are there where you can select any language. Understand? And the next one, what is the next one? Common Language Interface. So what do you mean by Common Language Interface? See, I'll tell you a small example here. See here, there are two programmers are doing two work. Okay, two programmers, okay, are participating to develop or to complete one task. Think that two programmers are completing one task. See here, one programmer can use C#, okay, another programmer, okay, another programmer can use VB. Now both can communicate together. This is called as a common language specification. For example, think that there are two teams are working to solve things. One team is from USA, another one is from UK. Think that USA is using C#, UK is using VB. At any time you can make them to communicate. This is called as a common language interface. Okay, so you can use any programming language, any task can be communicated. Understand? And the last one is, and the next one is, there is something called as a CTS, called as Common Type System. Okay, so irrespective of any language, okay, .NET provided its own data types. Okay, so .NET provided, okay, its own data types. Okay, .NET provided its own data types. Okay, in the form of, okay, a hierarchy. Okay, CTS, Common Type System. Okay, so all the data types, okay, all the data types are available, okay, in a hierarchy. Okay, any language here, who is telling that? Okay, what language you select? Okay, what language we select? Okay, like C hash, okay, VB, C++, etc. Okay, they have to use CGS. Understand? All the data types must be selected from the CGS. So .NET provided, okay, a good support of data types, okay, which is ready to store any type. An example I can tell you that a programming language data types like integer, character, float can be used. Okay, a database languages like varchar2, datetime, etc. can be supported. An image can be supported. Log can be supported. For all those things, we have a feature called as an object. Any object can be supported. That is a main feature related to the .NET. Okay, all the languages, okay, all the data types can be easily communicated with the help of the .NET. So because of a reason called as a common type system. Understand? Let's be coming to the next one. .NET is tightly coupled. What do you mean by tightly coupled? Okay, so here to overcome the, furtherly here to avoid future problems. Okay, to avoid future problems, what they done is, okay, the language is, the .NET is tightly coupled. What do you mean by tightly coupled? One data type cannot be converted to another directly. Understand? A best example I'll tell you, if you say integer n is equal to 100, it's a valid. Understand? If you say integer n equal to 100, it's a valid. If you say integer n is equal to 100.0, it's invalid. Understand? This is tightly coupled. So you are not supposed to convert a numeric with a decimal, decimal with a numeric, okay, string to numeric. This is not valid. So this is called as a tightly coupled. What do you mean by tightly coupled? It is very, very strict about the data types. Conversion is mandatory. Okay. For example, if you use something called string s is equal to 100, again this is wrong, invalid. If you say, for example, I have string s is equal to 100. Okay, if you say integer x is equal to s, even this is wrong. You will understand. The reason is .NET is telling that we will be very strict about the data type conversion. So implicitly you cannot convert one data type to another. Okay, to do this one, it provided a feature called as a explicit conversion. Okay, with the help of that one, we have forcefully convert the data type from one to another. Hope you're clear. Alright, let's see the next one. So we have something called as a .NET is completely depend upon the OOPS. The people who knows the C++, the people who knows the Java or object-oriented programming, they will clearly understand what is an OOPS. OOPS are nothing but of a security. OOPS are fully secured. How much secured in the sense? Your email IDs are OOPS. Your mobile connections are OOPS. Your bank accounts are OOPS. Your college student admission is an OOP. Okay. Your employee admission in the company are OOPS. OOPS are fully secured. So .NET is completely OOPS. You can even say that .NET is pure OOPS. Okay, .NET is pure OOPS. So pure OOPS in the sense fully secured. So one object, okay, cannot be, can be communicated with another object in a proper way. Okay, like how can you transfer a fund from one bank account to another bank account? It is fully secured. Hope you're clear, right? Understand? So next one, what happens when you install a .NET framework? See here, when you install a .NET framework, only two components get installed in your machine. Okay, what happens when you install a .NET framework? So .NET framework allows to, it contains only two components called as a CLR and BCL. So BCL in the sense it's a library. So to provide, see, .NET is having thousands and thousands of features. .NET follow OOPS concept. It's not, you can say .NET is OOPS. Definitely it follow OOPS only, but one thing I can tell that without object there is no .NET program. Without object there is no .NET program. Like for example, here I cannot say, for example, when you go for a C++, you can start a C++ program like this, void main. It works in C++. Okay, but it won't work in .NET. Okay, so .NET what we need to do is your program should support inside the program class. Okay, and you need to have a public static void main. So when you say any program which is existing inside an object, okay, it is completely OOPS. So .NET is OOPS. Obviously it follows OOPS only, but without object there is no .NET. Instead of calling it a following OOPS, you can say it's a pure OOPS. Harsha, am I clear? Okay, .NET is pure OOPS. Obviously it follows OOPS. Without object there is no .NET program. right? Let's coming to the next one. See what we will be getting while working with the .NET. See, when you install a .NET, you will be getting two components gets installed in your machine called as CLR. Another one is BCL. So what do you mean by a CLR? Okay, if anybody is familiar with Java, we will be calling as a JVM. Okay, Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so CLR is similar to JVM, called as a Common Language Runtime. Understand? So you can understand that it is a runtime engine, okay, to make .NET application to be executed or to be developed. Understand? A .NET application can be developed or a .NET application can be executed using the CLR. So CLR is nothing but a runtime engine which helps in working with .NET. So you can understand that once a .NET framework is installed in your machine, if you install a .NET in your machine, okay, you'll be getting two components. One of the component is CLR. Okay, CLR, you can understand that it's a platform for the .NET application. CLR is the platform for the .NET application. So if you want .NET application to be installed, I'll tell you a small example here. There is a website called as a Bing. Okay, it's a search engine from Microsoft. It's a search engine from Microsoft. So you can understand that this search engine designed using the WCF and WPF features of .NET. Okay, the Bing.com has been installed in your machine. If you want to use the Bing, you can understand that CLR is required. Without CLR, you cannot get the complete features of Bing. So if you want to have the complete features of Bing, you need to have CLR. I'll show you a small example here. You have the same feature which is not available in what will be called Google. Okay, so here when you open the Bing, you could able to see a feature called as a videos. Right now, other like Google or other search engines are trying to get the algorithm for the videos. Okay, so here I'm simply using a cricket. So here when you click on cricket, what happens? Your cricket related all videos have been placed. So you can understand that the designing has been done with the help of the .NET application called as WCF and WPF. If you want this to be operated in your system, 100% your system requires CLR to be installed in your machine. Understand? Without this CLR, okay, your system will not supposed to view this page. Examples here, this is a very good page here. If you simply place the mouse pointer, automatically the what will be called the video gets played in your system. Okay, how this feature has been introduced in the sense, it has been introduced with the help of the concept called as a WCF and WPF of the .NET. Understand? So to have this feature, okay, you need to have one software to be executed parallelly in your system called as .NET framework called as a CLR. Am I clear? So CLR is used to develop or run the .NET application. So you can understand that if your system is supporting the Bing or if your system is supporting the Bing video feature, that indicates your system is having the .NET CLR has been installed in your machine. Otherwise what happens? The features what are not related to .NET will be visible, other things will not be visible. Understand? Next. So what are the softwares required to develop a .NET? Okay. So for our program, okay, you need 3 softwares to be installed in your machine. All the 3 softwares are available for free of cost in your Microsoft download. Okay. So here initially we need to have Visual Studio 2012 Express Edition for desktop, or you can even get it as a desktop for Windows. Visual Studio 2012 Express Edition for Windows. Okay. Generally we will be using this software for developing console applications, Windows services, etc. Okay. Even you can develop the libraries also. Right. Next one. For communicating with the data type, databases, you need to install SQL Server 2012. See here, when you add an Express Edition keyword while Googling, okay, you will be getting the software for free of cost. Express Editions are the free software available for download, which doesn't require any key to be provided to install. And these softwares are available for you for 90 days free edition. Understand? So, and if you install the Visual Studio Web for 2012 Express Edition, you'll be getting the web application, websites, web services, etc. All this can be used. So I strongly recommended you to install this one immediately. Okay, this one you can install after 1 week, and this one you can install after 15 days. Why? Because limited version is available. So install this one for coming immediately install this one. SQL Server install after 1 week or 10 days, and install this one after 15 days. Am I clear? Okay, so this is a small introduction and related to the .NET architecture. Okay, Sandhya?